All right, we're back again for another father-son podcast. This is episode 13. Our fireside chat series continues. How you doing today, Forrest?
Good. How about you?
I'm okay, man. I got a good day of training. Not as good as yesterday. It was okay, though. And you're quiet already. So what did you do all day today?
I hung out in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get some rest in, and then I did some homework.
Good. How's the homework coming? You almost done for the weekend?
Yeah.
Don't look at me. You got to talk into the mic.
Yeah.
You adjusted the mic, and now it's the wrong height for you. You don't have to work on your podcasting skills. So what's going on? You said you had a topic for me today.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it, and with all the stuff that's been going on recently, with Parkland, with the school in Parkland, I was wondering what the differences are between how kind of your school kind of ran with safety and everything, and how my school runs with security.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know how the security in your school runs, so I'm not sure I can make a fair comparison.
Well, or just the difference between schools today and then.
When I went to school, for a while, my friend was bringing a gun to school with him every day, so I would say that it was a little bit more dangerous. He eventually got caught with a gun, and he got in trouble. He didn't have bullets in his gun, but he still got in trouble for it. There was a lot of fights when I went to school. There'd be fights in the school. There was the zero tolerance policy wasn't around really. I don't know. It was tougher. It was more raw than it is today, but I don't know. Maybe it was better. I'm not sure because we didn't have social media like you guys do too, you know?
Yeah.
The whole world is so different. It's not even really comparison anymore because growing up when I grew up, it's totally different than it is now today. You guys, our generation always thinks the generation before it has it easier. And you may have it easier, like going to school and everything's a little bit safer for you guys and a little bit like, oh, you can't fail or everyone gets a trophy or whatever. But you guys deal with social media onslaught 24/7. You know, when you go home from school, it's not safe anymore. Now there's people that can hack into your Instagram and tell you you're a jerk or like Destiny posts those videos that she does, and some people comment on them that
With hate.
Yeah, with hate, and she gets all upset about it.
Yeah.
But anytime you go on the internet, you're gonna get that. You just have to deal with it, you know.
For sure. Were there like the mass shootings and the security problems then too? Or was there like contemplation of putting resource officers in your school ever, or was
after my friend got arrested with the gun? He's a good guy actually. He just was scared. We had a police officer that was stationed in the school that would walk through the school all the time. That happened for my junior year, I believe. My junior and senior year, we had a police officer walking through the halls. So I guess it would be a school resource officer. It was back before they called him that. He was just a regular on-duty cop, and his shift during the day was to walk through school during school hours.
Well, so my school has like security officers, but they're not like real like security that you would like think that in a situation they would save you, but they are in the hallways and everything checking on stuff. Was there ever anything like that for you?
Not really. I mean, the teachers would go through your locker sometimes if you were bad, or they thought you had drugs or something. It was a little bit different. It was kids. We had a little bit less rights. I remember in German class, I wasn't really mouthy because I wasn't really a mouthy kid. I wasn't disrespectful, but I was making jokes. And my German teacher had enough, and he slammed the desk down on me.
He slammed what desk?
The desk I was sitting at, because it was like a desk, and he picked it up and he's like slammed down my legs. He's like, "You be quiet now." And I was like, "Yes, sir." And
that wouldn't happen today.
No, my math teacher was drunk all the time, Mr. Mislevich.
Your math teacher was drunk all the time?
Yeah, we go through his desk. He used to always have a bottle of liquor in his desk.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was funny. And like I had a lot of trouble with that guy. He didn't like me. And actually, Grandma Mary went to school and stood up to bat for me. He kept saying I wasn't handing in my homework, and he had all these homework misses. But one was on Christmas Eve, one was Christmas Day, one was New Year's Eve. Like
all days you had off.
Yeah, all days we had off, and there was some vacation days in there. And my mom actually watched me do some of my homework, and I actually handed it in because that was a problem I had. I would do my homework, not hand it in, all kinds of bullshit. But
Yeah, like the stuff where you do it, but you forget it or something.
Yeah, I just lose it because my locker was such a mess back then. If I don't keep things organized, I lose it,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm kind of a mess. If there when there's stuff all over, I put my things down, I lose them because I can't see them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I would do that with my homework all the time. My whole locker would be filled with papers.
yeah.
So then I would lose it, and I'd be like, I can't find it. I just not hand it in.
So you were always kind of struggling because you couldn't find your work.
Yeah, but I
But
always
you
did.
it.
I always did really, really well on tests because I listened to class. I learned very well from listening, and I learned very well from reading. And I read the whole textbooks. I didn't care. Like I'd read the whole thing, even the chapters we don't do, because I was really interested in not everything. I wasn't really interested in math that much, and I loved history. I loved English. I read every story in an English book. I more than one time too. I really loved to read, even though I was in a reading lab.
So
Did you know that I was in a reading lab?
oh what?
I was in a reading lab for people that can't read good.
Oh, because you didn't have good grades, right? So they had to move you.
No, because I couldn't spell.
Oh, yeah. You still can't spell.
I still can't spell worth a damn.
But you can write pretty well.
I can write good.
Like your writing, we do. Sometimes we do stories in the car, and we're like, you could probably turn this into a pretty good story. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm usually not lying or just trying to give you praise, because sometimes you impress me with your writing.
Have you read my write-ups I do
About who?
about the fighters and stuff?
Yeah, I've read a couple.
Okay, what do you think of those?
Those are good too.
Yeah. That's really the only serious writing I do now.
Yeah.
Just about fighting. Someday I'm gonna write some books when I have some time. When I'm not fighting anymore. I have a little bit more time. I'm always gonna do jiu-jitsu though, so at least 6 days a week. When I'm
once you're a
retired.
black belt, you can get it in.
Yeah, I'm getting it now anyways. So going back to the school shootings, do you feel safe in school?
Yeah, I feel pretty safe. I mean, well, it can happen anywhere, but I feel like I'm not in the safest neighborhood, but we're in a place where crazy stuff and crazy shootings, and not just some dude who walks in with a gun and threatens people and then leaves or is pushed away, and not mass shootings. Because some high dude might walk in, because where we're at, he might walk down a couple blocks and just decide to walk in and start threatening people, but I mean, nothing's gonna happen.
Right. So you don't feel like do you feel like you'd be safe in your school if there was a school shooting? Do you think they'd be able to appropriately respond to the threat?
They would definitely take care of us,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if everybody would be entirely safe, because we do have the security officers, but they're not really armed,
Mm-hmm.
and they're obviously not in the best shape.
Would you feel better if they were armed? Or would you be more
No.
worried?
I'd actually
What if your
probably
teachers
be
were
more-
armed? Would you like
I'd
your
be
teachers to
very
have
worried.
guns?
I'd be very worried, because some teachers they get mad, and if they have a gun, the lot changes, and a situation could start in a matter of seconds. Really.
Yeah, there's a lot of school shootings are tough to deal with. Number one, teachers should not have guns. They're not trained. They're not really going to be trained enough to be able to use guns. Maybe one or two of them will be able to do it, but not all of them en masse. So that's not the answer. And plus, you don't want guns in the classroom, man. That's a dangerous thing. One of the teachers is going to be irresponsible enough. Someday, some kid's going to get one and shoot somebody. There was a report in the paper. I don't know if it was true or something, that it was fake news or something. Maybe I just read on Facebook, but it was going around for a while. And it said one of the teachers during the safety course shot one of the students. So I'm pretty sure that's not the answer. School resource officers is something Eric Herbert believes in. But I'm not sure that's the right answer either. But
I think resource officers are a good idea, even if they're just stationed outside.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a good idea, but I don't know if it's going to solve the problem,
Because we had on Wednesday, a few Wednesdays ago, it was walkout day, and we just had a police officer sitting outside. I mean, he wasn't inside, and if he was armed, I mean, he wasn't inside, and there wasn't. a dangerous situation where if he went cuckoo, he would kill somebody. I mean, he was outside just making sure nothing happened. And I feel like if there were a few people outside the doors, maybe less people could get into the school. And if there was an emergency, that they would be able to get in the school and do something.
Right. I think we're always gonna have a problem with this, because it's so hard to stop. Like one person coming and shooting people is always gonna be really hard to stop.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially if they're a kid.
yeah, if they're a kid, maybe they should go through school and all the kids probably know which kids are messed up, right?
Yeah.
Is there a kid you think ever shoot up the school?
Would shoot up the school.
Don't say his name on air, but do you think there is one? What do you think if they pulled every teacher and every student?
I know somebody.
Yeah, what if they pooled every teacher and every student, and if someone's name came up in 90% of the stuff, they like put them on a watch list. Nothing bad would happen to them. The teachers would just watch them more.
I mean, yeah.
That's a serious invasion of privacy, but maybe it's something we have to do.
If there's somebody who seriously has a problem,
Mm-hmm.
which I can think of somebody that might end up having a serious problem in my school right now, in my grade. But I mean, if the teachers don't know this, there's nothing that they can really do to stop it if he comes in with a gun one day and he shoots up the school.
Right, they said I read some stuff. I don't know. It's so hard to tell if it's true or not because these are kids talking after the fact, right? But they said that they didn't want to be friends with that kid and they were loners because the kids always talked about doing horrible things. And, you know, if you have kids like that, then you know you have a problem and maybe you can take care of it. But here's the other thing. What if all the kids don't like one kid and they do it to bully him? You know, there's always like...
I mean, it might be something that somebody might just be joking around.
Right.
But other kids might see that as weird or they might see somebody...
Or all the kids are just picking on one kid because he's different.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's one black kid and everyone picks on him. Or one white kid and everyone picks on him. Or one half white, half Asian kid and everyone picks on him because he's always telling them to do the right thing and they don't want to do the right thing. Right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, everyone thinks you're going to shoot up the school. So everyone's watching you. And they're like, oh, what do you got in your bag there for us? And they're like, ooh, can we look in your locker?
Yeah.
You know, are we willing to do that to maybe stop a school shooting? Or maybe that's the thing that drives a kid over the edge and causes a school shooting. It's so tough to know what the right answer is.
If you have somebody on the watch list that you're seeing where there's behaviors that are risky and that are showing that they may cause a problem and it's fixable because there's something that's happening, maybe for everybody, maybe for the people on their watch list that start showing up more behaviors, maybe people could start counseling for those people. Or they could try and get him in with the school counselor, or teachers could just talk to him or her, and just try and like soothe them and make them feel better.
Yeah, that could happen, but then you're making someone go to counseling that might not want it. It's like a slippery slope.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like anything else, like the terrorist watch list. People are on it that never did anything wrong ever, and they can't fly in a plane, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can't take away rights for something that hasn't happened. I truly believe that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It's a really complicated situation to get into with an 11-year-old. Adults can't figure it out between themselves, so...
Mm-hmm.
You know, my thought is school resource officers, I guess, are the way to go until we find out a better way to handle it.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a armed police officer that's been trained to do it and is a full-time police officer than some teacher has taken a 5-hour course to learn how to shoot a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and hopefully the police officers do their job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And if they're like Eric Herbert, they will.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
He'd definitely be able to.
He would stop those school shooters just by punching them in the face or giving them the horns for the bull. All right, with that, we're out of here.
Yeah.
Great conversation. Think about tomorrow's topic.
Mm-hmm.
I might have a good one, but I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Okay.
All right. Love you, Dad.
Love you too.
You're my man. Bye.